so it's do or die now. You feel me? Like we gladiators. Like you got your sword. You sleeping on me, homie. He's sleeping on me. Oh, what you think? You have the IQ of Floyd Mayweather?
It's about to get really bloody. It's the fourth time Canelo Alvarez would be fighting a Puerto Rican, and this looks like the fiercest one ever.
Too much. I like to respect my opponents, but I like to respond when they talk.
And as they face off one more time, Edgar Berlanga doesn't look fazed or intimidated by the greatness and skill of his opponent.
That's for sure. And
his confidence is making his naysayers even condemn him more. But how do you defeat the legendary Canelo Alvarez without confidence?
Motherfucker, I got my sword. It's the Gladiator days, you feel me? 300.
Edgar Berlanga stared down Canelo like he would do to a debuting fighter.
This is our main event, September 14th. Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga meet.
The fact that Canelo Alvarez has almost 3 times his number of fights isn't a threat to him. Rather, he's turned all of his disadvantages to motivations.
Motherfucker, I got my sword. It's the Gladiator days, you feel me? 300.
This is where we fight!
We're gonna go to war. It's either you're gonna cut my neck off or I'm gonna cut your neck off.
But how many times have we seen fighters do this against Canelo Alvarez only to get a loss in the long run? The fighters have such an enmity that transcends the both of them.
That's how it is, you know what I'm saying? And that's a fact.
Edgar Berlanga stands on behalf of the over 3 million Puerto Ricans to see the end of a nation bigger and greater than them.
For the WBA, WBC, and WBO Super Middleweight World.
While the over 127 million Mexicans are represented by the great Saul Canelo Alvarez.
This is not an exception. I'm gonna bring my best September 14th.
And here's where some predictability lies. Because just as the population of Mexico is far greater than Puerto Rico, so is the greatness of Canelo Alvarez to Edgar Berlanga.
Whether you think you have the IQ? He said that and I said, you're gonna see, but that's why I love it.
The halo around Edgar Berlanga's head was the fact that he holds the world record for the most fights with first-round knockouts, which he achieved in the first 16 fights of his career.
Because this is where the doubt is. I know he's sleeping on me just by him saying that.
Sadly, that glory seems to be fading as he has just one knockout win in his last 6 fights. Where is his power gone, you may ask?
You sleeping on me, homie. He's sleeping on me.
But he's promised Canelo Alvarez the first knockout of his career in round 6. Edgar Berlanga looks bigger in size, but Canelo Alvarez is bigger in experience, intelligence, skill, technique, and everything.
On me, homie. He's sleeping on me. Tú estás durmiendo, cabrón.
The Puerto Rican has even admitted the fact that he hasn't really fought a good fighter all through his career, not to even talk of a great fighter of Canelo Alvarez's caliber, a step which many deem too far for Berlanga.
And that's the best part. That's the best part. That's the best part.
In fact, many boxing professionals have trolled Canelo Alvarez and condemned why he chooses easy fighters like Jaime Munguia and Berlanga rather than more worthy contenders like David Morrell and David Benavidez.
Cool. It's cool, because I'm gonna embrace all of that.
Well, for some reasons, Berlanga has his time, and he doesn't look like he'll misuse the opportunity. But Canelo Alvarez isn't seeing Berlanga any more than Jaime Munguia, the young Mexican he defeated by unanimous decision in May.
I'm gonna embrace all of that. He gonna respect my game then.
But this time, Canelo has even promised Berlanga a knockout. As Alvarez stood in front of all the cameras looking sideways at Berlanga, he said, "You're gonna feel so much pain. You hit like my son, so take it easy. You are getting the beating of a lifetime." Soon, the two would stand and trade words, held by security, and the champion specified his intent not to lay hands on Berlanga. Why? Alvarez said, "I don't want to mess you up right now because your money is gone, so take it easy."
At this level is intelligence and IQ, and we're not gonna end up like that.
But Berlanga reiterated his determination and resolve to take the throne in return. The chosen one announced, "I'ma take your place."
Puerto Rico, I'm not overlooking him. I know he's a strong fighter.
"This fight is a good fight for the people," Canelo responded when asked why it won't be Benavidez or Crawford in the opposite corner on September 14th. Mexico versus Puerto Rico is always a good fight, It's a good fight for the people.
Young fighter, and I'm gonna put all my best in the training, all my best in the fight.
I never overlook my opponents. I know Edgar Berlanga. He's shown he's strong, but at the end of the day, he has a big challenge in front of him. It's gonna be a great fight. He's gonna show something different, and the people are gonna enjoy this fight.
To put it a great fight, and
I don't expect anything else. He's gonna bring everything, and me too. I'm gonna enjoy it a lot. It means a lot because the rival is history. It's history. We have great fights. Mexico versus Puerto Rico. And I think this is going to be another one. That's why we have this fight, right? I'm going to put my best as always.
I'm just happy. I love boxing. I love what I do, and I'm happy to be here. And
It's going to be a really good night for boxing. I guarantee that. This altercation mirrored what Alvarez had told PPV.com.
Over there. I got knocked out. Kayla.
The Guadalajara native carried more motivation, zeal, and passion during the presser. As he had told PPV.com, Mexico versus Puerto Rico motivates me even more. It seems he is not the only one. When the two took their seats and answered the fans' questions, Berlanga assured the fans and reporters that he was up for the task.
Our card.
The Brooklyn native pointed out that Alvarez had fought everybody, including the big names. The super middleweight champions list of legendary opponents included Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Gennady Golovkin.
Yeah,
All right, let's turn things back over.
Stop the cap, no?
His varied advantages of size and speed at different career stages had worked for Alvarez, but Berlanga theorized that their bout would be different. He added, "What makes it different about this fight is not about physical, it's about IQ and intelligence, and that's what's going to make the difference on September 14th.
take it easy. I'm gonna take care of him for you.
Does Berlanga have the skills and ring IQ to outwit Alvarez? No one is sure after weighing in their resumes. The fans will find out whether this will be the case soon.
I promise you. That's for you.
Cotto's rivalry with Antonio Margarito is the most memorable between a Mexican and a Puerto Rican in the modern era. But for all that, the 27-year-old Berlanga has proved entertaining. He is a considerably less proven fighter, which was something Alvarez did little to contest.
What do you say to anybody who says it shouldn't be you September 14th?
Those are haters, man. You know, like I said, those are haters, man. And all those people out there.
Berlanga, having then gone the distance in 5 straight fights, stopped Irishman Padraig McCrory in Orlando in February. The 27-year-old said he'd been dreaming of a fight like this and that he'd manifested getting the Canelo bout.
They're gonna still buy the pay-per-view. They still gonna talk. You know, Floyd became Floyd. Why? Because he had so much people that hate him.
A lot of people are talking shit, saying I'm fighting cab drivers. Now I'm fighting a legend. They say I'm gonna get knocked the fuck out. You never win, Berlanga added. So I just put my head down, keep working, stay humble, and just turn up.
Tonight, for sure, 100%. He's a clown, so you gotta let him think that.
There's a lot of doubt out there, and a lot of hate, Berlanga said. But I've been facing adversity. I've been facing hate all my life. This is my opportunity to become a great champion, but also be legendary in the sport of boxing. It's going to be something amazing. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. That's the biggest rivalry in boxing.
What do you say to anybody who says it shouldn't be you September 14th?
I've always been overlooked. Even if I had a world title, I would be overlooked. When I first turned pro, no promoter wanted to sign me, and I had to go there, dig my feet deep in the ground, and work and knock people out. And I started knocking people out in the first round, and that's when people started wanting to sign me.
I don't want to hear, listen, man, I don't want to hear Benavidez, you know, shout out to Crawford.
Berlanga's resolve has been stiffened by the critics, and he knows he's not the popular choice. That would have been David Benavidez, who, frustrated by his inability to land a fight with the February 2nd, 61 Mexican superstar Canelo, has moved north to 175 pounds. I don't want to hear Benavidez. Fuck Benavidez, Berlanga continued. Shout out to Terrence Crawford. They keep mentioning Crawford for Canelo. He fought a 54-pounder Israel Madrimov. It was a tough fight. We've got business to handle September 14th. A lot of people keep mentioning Benavidez and all these guys. Y'all know it's not gonna happen. That's just that. September 14th, I've got Canelo. Puerto Rico against Mexico.
You know what I'm saying? But they keep mentioning Crawford. He fought a 54-pounder. You know, it was a tough fight. You know, we got business to handle September 14th. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just keep mentioning Benavidez.
Promoter Eddie Hearn signed Berlanga 13 months ago and promised he would deliver him Canelo. The Mexican's recent marriage to PBC, which now spans 3 consecutive contests, made that less likely. But the opposing teams managed to get the deal done.
And all these guys, man, like, y'all know it's not going to happen. You feel me? And that's just that, man. Like,
Hearn called the Canelo fight the lottery ticket of boxing. This isn't just about winning the lottery. This is about paying in the ticket, and Edgar Berlanga is here only to win, said Hearn.
The Canelo Alvarez fight weeks, and this time we come as the opponent. Many opponents we've had have faced him in the past: Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, John Ryder, Rocky Fielding.
This kid has a big set of cojones and will put everything on the line on September 14th. I know Canelo Alvarez wants real fights, guys that will come to him to win. This guy won't dance around the ring. He won't try to survive for 12 rounds. He will come for a firefight with Canelo Alvarez. And yes, it is Puerto Rico versus Mexico, but it's deeper than that. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for Edgar and his father. He's dedicated his life to the sport, and I promise you, he will give every inch of his soul in Las Vegas. This guy is here to dethrone the king, Berlanga's influential manager, Keith Connolly, added.
A shot at the great Canelo Alvarez. As things moved on, that shot looked as though it had become more difficult. And as always, it's the lottery ticket of boxing to land.
Edgar's got bombs in his hands, and I expect him to shock the world on September 14th. Edgar Berlanga had a snappy response to anyone questioning why he got the assignment to face Canelo Alvarez on September 14th, and the more decorated David Benavidez, and the undefeated powerhouse David Morrell did not. Benavidez doesn't sell, Morrell doesn't sell. They don't have that superstar status that I have, a bejeweled Berlanga told Boxing Scene in his dressing room on Monday, just minutes before the start of his press conference in Midtown Manhattan with Canelo.
Having people going, you know, I go on social media now and I see a couple things that fuels me, you know what I'm saying? Because
they don't have that power. I have a country behind me. I have Puerto Rico behind me, and I got the hip-hop culture behind me. I know that's why Canelo picked me, because we're going to sell, but we're also going to fight, and it's going to be a good fight. Canelo will defend his 3 super middleweight titles against Berlanga next month at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, atop a PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video Card on Mexican Independence Day weekend. Berlanga, 27, was in attendance on May 4th when Canelo dropped and decided a game against Jaime Munguia in Las Vegas. That was Canelo's 4th straight win that went the distance, causing some to wonder if Canelo may have lost a step. Berlanga doesn't think that's the case. I don't see any decline in Canelo, Berlanga told Boxing Scene. Canelo was Canelo.
first and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for this opportunity.
Munguia is a guy who throws a lot of punches and doesn't really use his IQ. If he had used his IQ a lot more, the outcome would have probably been different. I think Canelo will be in the best shape and in the best form for this fight, and it's going to be fireworks that weekend. Berlanga, the WBA's #1 ranked mandatory contender, last saw action in February when he KO'd previously undefeated Padraig McCrory in the 6th round for his first stoppage in 5 fights.
Amen. Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, my manager, Keith Connolly, my dad, Edgar Berlanga Sr.
Berlanga believes he's still an unfinished product who hasn't scraped the ceiling of his potential. What's dangerous about me is that I'm not the same fighter that I was for my last fight, he said. I'm still a mystery to Canelo. Every fight I'm getting better and better. These guys at that level, they plateau. They stay stagnant. Me? I'm 27 years old, but I'm still a sponge in the gym, and I'm still growing, and I'm still not at my full potential. I'm going to give everything I've got and make history on September 14th.
Gracias. Thank you everybody for coming. And thank you all, Jaimon. Thank you, Luis.
However, while Canelo Alvarez has insisted that he and Edgar Berlanga would make a good fight for the fans, they have a common enemy who believes the fight would flop. But even more than that, he's claimed the fight between the pair says nothing about Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry, as Edgar Berlanga is hardly a Puerto Rican. In his Clapback Thursday series, Oscar de la Hoya fired at both Canelo Alvarez and Berlanga. Starting with Berlanga, he said, Edgar Berlanga, he claims he has the whole country Puerto Rico behind him. Edgar bro, you are from Brooklyn. I think I am more Puerto Rican than you are, and I only lived there for 6 years, Oscar said in the latest edition of his Clapback Thursdays. He continued, Puerto Rico doesn't claim you, bro. And as I said weeks ago, this fight will not do well on September 14th. The head of Golden Boy explained that it's not just because Canelo has picked a rather unknown opponent for himself, but also because of UFC 306, which is set on the same night, just down the street from the MGM Grand. They are going up against the UFC's debut at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Now that's a spectacle that everyone and their mother have been waiting to see. Oscar added, it's hard to determine whether Oscar's hypothesis will come true or not, but there has undoubtedly been a rise in UFC's popularity, not to mention that Sean O'Malley is headlining the event. However,
that takes me to Edgar Berlanga.
Berlanga later insulted De La Hoya for coming at him, despite chasing after him crazily last year. Berlanga claimed Oscar De La Hoya was literally mad over him and went as far as leaking their chats. This happened after he had initially tweeted, "Get off my head, Oscar De La Hoya. You were dying to sign me last year and flew in to sit down with me and was on my head. I'm gonna have a bag of Coke for you, idiot." As for De La Hoya, Berlanga was more keen on making him appear bad after firing shots at him unprovoked, as De La Hoya had earlier wooed him into a Mexico versus Puerto Rico clash against Jaime Munguia. And now, he's going against himself, claiming the same fighter he wanted in a Mexico versus Puerto Rico fight, that he's no longer a Puerto Rican. Well, Berlanga has little time for him, as he's focused on Canelo and Canelo alone. In an interview with ESPN, the World Boxing Association, mandatory challenger of Canelo Alvarez, had assured that he is ready to surprise and even anticipated that he will knock out the Mexican in only 6 rounds, something that seemed unlikely against an opponent who has never touched the canvas in his entire professional career.
I was relaxed, you know what I'm saying? I was in my city, man. But I didn't like the fact how he was just acting cocky.
He even assured that the last 3 opponents Canelo faced meant nothing, and that is why he defeated them. We are going to make history and become legends. A lot of people say I haven't fought anyone, but that's life. I have to block everything out and focus on my training, putting God first. Everything that happens in my life happens for a reason.
Laughing in my face and shit, you know what I'm saying? When I rewatched the video, how everything was, you know what I'm saying? He was more like on some shit like laughing.
The Puerto Rican wears a black t-shirt with the word chosen in the center while acknowledging that he loves his haters and refuses to listen to all the comments that claim he doesn't have enough to challenge one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. For me, it's normal for people to talk bad about me. I'm taking everything bad to turn it into a positive, he explains, and assures that he is motivated for his next fight because he feels underestimated by the fans, because nobody has everything like me.
In my face, September 14th is definitely gonna be fireworks, you know what I'm saying? And he said he knocked me out at 8.
Berlanga made his fight prediction in response to the Mexican, who assured that he would not give him more than 8 rounds and told him that he would give him the beating of his life. In response, the Puerto Rican took the TV camera and showed his 2 hands with the number 6. 6 rounds I'll give him, he says defiantly. Canelo said with Munguia 8, and he didn't do anything. For me, he's going to go down in the 6th, he assured me. In addition, Berlanga will be the 4th Puerto Rican opponent that Canelo Alvarez faces in his career, although he is by far the one that has aroused the most expectation.
In 8 rounds, I'm knocking him out in 6 rounds. We put him through
You
the
knocking
ropes.
him out. You putting him to bed.
Yeah.
You putting him out.
I know.
I'm telling you, you putting him out.
In the past, Miguel Cotto resulted in one of the most controversial decisions that at the time favored the Mexican. However, Berlanga also slammed his compatriot for that fight, where he assures that Canelo never hurt him.
That's it. That's all. And anybody who want to doubt us, every time we talk like this, we right.
Facts.
You putting him out. He's too little for you. You putting him out.
Cotto was old. He had received many blows with Margarito, who had a cast on his hand. Canelo did not fight a fresh Cotto, but an old one, and he never hurt him. And now I am younger, stronger, and I have an IQ of another world. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.